how are you? My name is Mark. Welcome to another one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings. Now today you can see it's very cold outside, so what you have to do when you go for a winter walk is protect yourself. You have to make sure that you wear gloves, you have to make sure that you have a scarf, a bonnet, layers of clothing to protect yourselves from the cold. But of course, the most important part, the essential thing not to forget, is your dram. And in this case, I brought a Talisker 10-year-old, a magnificent whiskey. You want to find out more? Welcome to another one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings. Now the Talisker distillery can be found on the Isle of Skye. It's the only distillery currently on the island, and it can be found on the west coast of Scotland. It's on the same side as Islay, but much further to the north. It's in fact closer to the Isle of Lewis, where you can find the Avonjeric distillery, than it is to Islay. In fact, if you were to situate it on a map of Scotland, it would be at the same height, sort of the same latitude as Inverness. In fact, it is latitude 57 degrees north, and Talisker actually has an expression of that name, 57 degrees north, and aptly that one is bottled at a 57% ABV. Now the Talisker distillery is part of the Diageo concern, and they decided a couple of years ago to have the Talisker 10, their entry-level malt, be the representative of the island region. So the classic malts lineup actually has the Talisker 10-year-old. It's an essential whiskey. Between 1830, when it was founded, and 1928, almost 100 years later, until then they utilized triple distillation, which is now rather uncommon in Scotland. Only Auchentoshan and a few others experiment with it. But triple distillation until 1928, they stopped that afterwards. And just like many other distilleries, Talisker was also ravaged by a fire in 1960. They had to rebuild the whole distillery again, and also bring in new copper pot stills. Now of course those were scary times, because after all they had to make them exactly the same to make sure that they can keep their whiskey profile, which is, in this case, it's a sea breeze, it's peaty, it's peppery, but also very fruity. Talisker is also one of the signature malts in many a blend. For example, Talisker can be found in Johnnie Walker Black Label. But most of what they put out is actually as a single malt, because Talisker is very popular. You have the 10-year-old, the wonderful 18-year-old, there's also the 57 degrees north that we already mentioned, but there is also a 25-year-old, even a 30-year-old, there is a manager's choice. Well, there's many whiskies around, but I have to admit the best Talisker that I ever had was a 12-year-old that was bottled in 1963, but that one is hard to find nowadays. But if you do find it, it will be rather expensive. But let's go back to today. Let's go back to the Talisker 10-year-old of today, which is one of my favorites and has to be considered an essential malt that should be in every cabinet out there. So, the 10-year-old. We don't need ice cubes today, do we? We never need ice cubes, but it is kind of cold. It's freezing temperatures. So this heart-warming dram will be very good for us indeed. All right. Ooh, lovely body. Look at that. Look at how it sticks to the glass. Look at that beautiful color. It's a full old golden with some amber hues in there. Lovely, lovely. And it sticks to the glass, which reveals something of a sturdy body. The nose then. Yes, like I said, the sea breeze is there. I get some oysters. Some seaweeds even, but there is a bit of smokiness, just a tiny bit of peat. But it's not at all overpowering. It's not peat in your face like from Islay whiskies. It is very discreet in this case, and this one is actually rather fruity. There's a lot of fruit in there, and I'm mostly reminded of banana. I kid you not, I've got some green banana in here. Oh, this is beautiful. Like I said, an essential malt. The palate. It's a bit chilly. It's a bit chilly now because of the freezing temperature out here, but it is soft. It is sweet. Again, I get some build-up of peat and pepper, and the pepper becomes louder as we go mid-palate. The pepper is building up. If you were to keep this in your mouth for 15 seconds, your head would explode. There's this peppery kick in there. But it remains very fruity and soft. Ah, you have to try this. Keep it in your mouth for 10 seconds. Swish it around so that it covers your tongue completely, the roof of your mouth, below your tongue, your gums, and you will find this huge buildup of red hot chili peppers. Warning, warning, explosions coming. And in the finish, which is very long, lingering, warming, again the peppers are there. It's very smoky now. The peat and the smoke and even some brine is coming through on the finish, which is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, the Talisker 10-year-old is an essential malt. It's not for the faint-hearted though, no offense, but you wouldn't want to pour this to someone who's never had a scotch before, because it might put them off. I remember when I first started whiskey, tasting whiskey, this was one of the first drams that I tried. It took me over a year to go back to it. But once you get used to the peppery, full-bodied smokiness of this Talisker, you will find that it is a whiskey that you will go to often. So I do believe that the 10-year-old should be in anyone's cabinet. This is a very much underrated, but such a beautiful single malt whiskey. And in 2012, Talisker revamped their packaging completely. So this is the old packaging. The new one is a little more modern, a little more colour in there, and it boldly states, made by the sea. This Talisker 10-year-old is bottled at 45.8% alcohol by volume, as are most of their whiskies actually, except those who are cask strength or the distiller's edition. Otherwise it will be bottled at 45.8%, just like the 10-year-old. Well, that's it for this Whisky Rambling. Hope to meet you again real soon at one of Mark's Whisky Ramblings. Until then, may the malt be with you.